Peace to the guys and goddesses. This is Brother Sakim coming at you from the heart of North Philadelphia. Once again, I have Joseph Clifton. And he is a very good friend of mine, a very good speaker. And I think that, you're really going to get a lot out of this. Now, due to technical difficulties, we're not going to be able to show his face, but the voice is going to come in real good. So, Joe, welcome to the show once again.
Thanks, brother. Peace and blessings to everybody that's out there listening. Anybody that can get some understanding and some wisdom and some overstanding of what's being said today. Peace.
Right. And I got it in a good position right now, so everything should be good. They can hear you real good. Today, Brother Joseph Clifton is going to be going in on law and nationality. So we're just going to sit back, listen to the words of this brother, and hopefully everybody out there can get something out of it to benefit their lives. The stage is yours, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I do a lot with the law as far as lecturing and people that I've grown up with and been around. They can attest to the authenticity of the things that I do and say when it comes to law. A lot of brothers and sisters, a lot of people, even people that are of the Caucasian descent, they all have that one statement when a cop pulls them over and they start to disrespect them. And that one statement that we all seem to harbor and think about and portray is, I have rights, but you got to look at what are rights and who are rights given to. A lot of people don't understand that these rights that they think that they have aren't really rights for them. And when I say that, I'm talking about the African American, people. So they'll be like, well, I got rights and I can do this and I can do that. But rights belong to people that have nations. If you don't have a national flag to stand under, then you really don't have any rights, because America, what they don't realize was founded under the maritime law, which is the law of the water. Every boat, every ship that you see that sets sail is going to have a couple of things on it, but it's always one constant on this ship or this boat, and it's always a flag, and you got to wonder how come every ship that you see always has a flag on it. Every ship that you see that goes into international waters has a flag on it. The reason being is that ship that has that flag on it, the law of that country follows that ship. Okay?
Okay.
So if you go out to sea, and I learned this being in the Navy, being on a ship, a carrier, when you go out to sea, you commit a crime, you're still under the jurisdiction of that country, as long as you're on the water. That's why they call it naval ships, USS, United States Sovereign Soil. They can go anywhere that they're allowed to go, and the law always follows them. Okay? So what we got to understand as a people is that what nation are we carrying to this country? What nation's flag are we flying when we come over here and we want to call ourselves American citizens? Which you can't be an American citizen because the Dred Scott case stated that you could a slave could never be a citizen of the United States. Dred Scott versus Sanford, I believe it was, 1866 or 1865. Dred Scott was a slave that his master had crossed state lines into a free state. So Dred Scott was like, well, if we're crossing these lines into a free state, I'm no longer a slave. So he went to Congress and he went to the Supreme Court and fought it all the way down to tooth and nail, and they ruled that he could never be a citizen of the United States because he was property. So we got a lot of people out here that think and they want to be citizens of this United States of America, but that could never be the case because you're always going to be a property. That's why the cops come through, knock you over your head, push you on the ground, shoot you, and there's always no recourse. All right, there's never no recourse. You know, you still got the Casual Killing Act of 1869 that's still in effect. I believe it was 1869, somewhere around there. But you still got the Casual Killing Act, and that stated that the slave masters could kill the slaves as long as it wasn't done in the form of on purpose. So as long as it wasn't purposely done, but it was done in a form of correction, then that was legal. So you got the cops that's always saying, well, I'm correcting them, or I had to correct them. I gave him a directive, and he didn't follow the directive, so I was just correcting the behavior. That all comes from that all comes from the Casual Killing Act of 1869 when they had those laws in order. But as going into what I was talking about in the first place, black people, men, women, children, we got to understand that the law wasn't designed for us in the first place. So you're not going to get any recourse in these courts. You know, I had a brother, he is a Moorish American.
Okay.
I'm not going to, state his name on there, but this is how I got my nationality paper signed and stamped with the Moorish seal. A lot of people don't know, I got the Moorish Republic seal on my papers.
Okay.
When I denounced my U.S. citizenship back in 2013. And I had to go all the way to Trenton, New Jersey just to get it done. It wasn't like just going up there like, here goes $50, sign this. They didn't want any money.
Yeah.
Because your payment was your mind state. That was your payment to them. So that they could educate a young brother, and he go out and teach the next brother, and teach the next brother. That was their payment. But a lot of people don't understand is that you got all these slaves still running around, and then you're wondering, why do the cops treat us like this? Why does this happen? Why does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
You're not in your proper persons. That comes with impropriate persona. Brother Taj talks about this.
Okay. Taj Tariq Bey?
Yeah, he talks about Taj Tariq Bey.
Yeah.
Another good brother to listen to is Brother Sutton Raw. He does the classes down at the York House.
Yeah.
Every other Saturday. He goes into that. But you got to understand that you're not an American citizen in the first place. So when you view law and you view nationality, you got to take yourself outside of being an American citizen.
Okay.
And that's just what it is. But we just want to be American citizens so bad. We want to be like our masters were so bad. It's like we're scared to be anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That's the when you say nationality, what nationality, or are we like spread all over, or like how would you say, so some say Hebrew and so on and so forth, you know what I'm trying to say, like exactly what would you say we are? Moorish, Hebrew, all that combined? What?
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question, because you're an intelligent brother. You're learned. You understand things. What were you before you were a Moor?
What was I before I was a Moor? A human being.
Not saying you in general, but I'm saying what were our people before we were Moors?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to coincide when I say African, but then some people got something against that. just enlighten me, because I say
Okay.
African, or I'm just say, before we was anything, we was just spiritual beings.
Exactly. You know, so that's your nationality. You know, because you come from a nation of God, a nation of godliness. You know, it's just that our mindsets are outside the confines of that nation. You know,
Okay.
it's like our spirits are still godly beings, but our physical body, which has us trapped on this world, is just playing the race game. You know, it's playing the nationality game. You know, so that's why you have all this confusion within the black community. You got people that are Moorish Americans. You got people that are 5%ers. You got people that are Black Panthers. You got people that are, Fruit of Islam, Nation of Islam, Christian. You know, not to say that those are nationalities, but I'm trying to paint a bigger picture. You know, it goes bigger than a nationality. And once you understand that you're a child and a descendant, a direct descendant of the Most High God, then this nation stuff has no bearing on you. Even if you read the scriptures, when it talks about when Jesus said, if you had enough faith, you can tell this mountain to go in the water, to go jump in the water. You can tell this mustard seed to grow. And if you read the book of Revelations, it says that the mountains shall go and jump in the water to hide from the wrath of God Almighty. But what they don't understand, people that read the Bible and a lot of Christians don't understand, is the word mountains is interchangeable with nations. All right. Okay. So when you see the word mountains in the New Testament, they're talking about nations. That's why they said in the last battle of Armageddon is going to be surrounded by 7 mountains. It's talking about 7 nations. It's not talking about physical mountains. So you got people that are going over there, and the Europeans are going over there trying to find these mountains. You know, the city of 7 hills or 7 mountains.
Okay.
And they don't understand that it's talking about nations. Okay. So it's telling you that in the last days, if you believe in the Bible, which the Bible has a lot of truth in it. A lot of people just discredit the Bible like, oh, man wrote it. Okay, if man wrote it, then how do you have things that are in the Bible that, and you can safely say the Bible was written before you were alive because your great-great-grandma had a Bible. I got a Bible in my house that's from 1864. You know?
Okay.
And it's a Masonic Bible. It's Thomas Jefferson's Masonic Bible.
Thomas Jefferson.
And, yeah. It's a Masonic Bible. It has the stone building and all that in it. But anyway, so the Bible has a lot of things in it that if people didn't take so literal, it would be a good instructional book, you know? But yeah, when you get the word mountains, you're talking about nations. All right?
Yeah.
So when you go to that aspect, it's showing you how the Almighty is against the nations of this world. You know, and we being a people outside of a nation, it's like you have all these different nations and you got all these different people. Everybody has a place except for us. You know, like where is our place?
You're right.
So if you get down to the meat and potatoes of the shit, our place has to be somewhere of a superior place than all the rest of these nations, because these nations are physical. So our nationality is a spiritual being.
Okay. Let me ask you something. I hear a lot of people say, because I have tried to have an open mind, because I'm one of the people that who say the Bible's written to mixes all up and everything like that. But I heard some people say that the Bible is an astronomical book. Like Young Pharaoh, brother Young Pharaoh. Him and some other people say the Bible is astronomical. Could you go into that, or you could expound on that?
Yeah. Well, the Bible is very astronomical. The stories in the Bible are actually depictions of different events that happen in the heavens. Like when you read the Bible, it's a lot of stories of things that happen in the heavens. You know,
Yeah.
when you read, they have lost books of the Bible. Okay, so they took out all these books of the Bible. The book of Enoch talks about the Great Destroyer, which people refer to as Nibiru. Dr. Malachi Z. York talked about that.
Yeah,
He talked about the planet Riz, and the people from Riz. You have a lot of people that went on and talked about that. The Bible is very, 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 very astronomical. In fact, the Bible is an astrology book. The Torah is a book of witchcraft. Okay, so the Torah talks about spells, witchcraft, how to perform these spells and stuff like that. A lot of people that don't read the Torah won't know that, but it's heavy in witchcraft and the magics. The Bible is a depiction of the astrology charts. That's why Jesus came from the Aquarius, in the age of Aquarius. You know, that's why he was washing people's feet with water. And, you know, that's why he was baptizing in water. You know, that was Aquarius, the water bringer. He had 12 disciples, which are the 12 zodiac signs.
Yeah, that's
and each one of them, each one of them had a different characteristic. I'm sorry, Jesus was in the age of Pisces. I apologize. He was in the age of Pisces, but he was coming to the age of Aquarius because the Aquarius was the new age. So Pisces had to deal with the fish. You know, that's why you see this Jesus signs that are represented by the two fish. Okay. Or the fish.
Yeah.
You see the little fish in the back of the car that represented Jesus.
Yeah.
That's why he said that's why when you had the apostles, most of their stories are about them fishing. You know, he said, "Come forth, I'll make you fishers of men." He said, "Cast your nets over here," and he pulled out a lot of fish. You know, that was just the age that they lived in. He fed 5,000 people with 12 loaves of bread, or 2 loaves of bread and 5 fish. And when it was enough left over, it filled 12 baskets. You know, so you go back to the zodiac again. Jesus is always depicted as having a halo around his head. Okay?
All right.
The halo is the sun. Okay? That's what the halo stands for. It's the depiction of the sun.
Yeah.
And the sun, in the middle of the sun, is broken into 4 different squares. Okay? Inside of those 4 squares, you have the cross. You know, that's why Jesus is depicted with the cross. I mean, it can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have astrology. You got astrology all over the Bible. It's some things I can't really think about right now. But I mean, it talks about it. You know, in almost every book it has something to do with astrology.
Yeah, I was the other day I was just talking to somebody briefly. It was real briefly, but it made me think on the and Phil Valentine mentioned it when I was on with him, but he mentioned it briefly about the when he talked about the wars in heaven, and you was talking about going into the Hindu, the Mahabharata. I believe it's the Mahabharata. It might be the Bhagavad Gita too, but I believe it's the Mahabharata. And they was talking about wars in heaven, and something you just said just made me think of that. Wouldn't that be like sort of a connection there?
Well, that's why if you read the scripture, God said, "I gave you the stars for signs and wonders." You know, the heavens are for signs and wonders. They're not a place where good dead people go. You know, there's no like mansions and parties up there. But the war of the heavens was in the book of the War of the Lords. Dr. York talked about this. A lot of this stuff that's really surfacing now, Dr. York was talking about 20 years ago.
In fact,
30 years ago.
In fact, I didn't mean to cut you off, but he was, Dr. York was talking about solar systems that had 2 stars and 1 planet. And everybody's talking about he was crazy. And next thing you know, they unfounded with the Hubble telescope and everything. like for real.
Yeah, Dr. Yerk was talking about this years ago.
Yeah.
Like I'm about 91, 80 something.
Yeah,
you know, he was talking about this. A lot of people was looking like, oh, this motherfucker crazy and this nigga and that nigga, and they coming out now and they just looking like, I heard this somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because now we're starting to see, like this shit, like it's real. But yeah, the War of the Heavens, they said was the fall of Lucifer or Satan. I'm sorry. When you read the Bible, Satan and Lucifer are 2 different people.
Mm-hmm.
They won't ever tell you that though. But you read the Bible, the names are really interchangeable, but it's to signify 2 different beings.
Mm-hmm.
All right. A lot of historians and philosophers that understand the Bible, you know, they'll tell you like, oh yeah, they're 2 different beings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why you had like Satan, who was the chief of hold on. Hey, what you doing?
You like?
But that was the chief musician. Lucifer was one of the head honchos. Was one of the head honchos of the army of God. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But the way that it got so misconstrued was that the Catholics who really corrupted the Bible. The Catholics corrupted the Bible. All right. Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
A lot of this stuff that's not in the Bible is because of the Catholics. I had this one brother that tried to debate me. He said Christianity was 20,000 years old. I said Christianity can possibly be 20,000 years old because Jesus Christ didn't exist until 2,000 years ago. And the word Christianity means to be a follower of who? Jesus.
Okay.
The Christ, the Christos. You know?
Okay.
So you can't be a follower of somebody who didn't exist. But I knew what he was talking about. He was trying to say that the concept of Christianity existed 20,000 years ago. If that was true, which it is, then he couldn't be a Christian. He shouldn't want to be a Christian. Because he would know that that's just a watered-down, plagiarized version of Christianity.
Okay.
You know? But, yeah, the wars that took place up into heaven, which Dr. Yerk talked about, I'll be referencing a lot of Dr. Yerk in this interview, which Dr. Yerk talked about, because a lot of people don't give him credit, you know, for the stuff that he did and things that he talked about.
Right.
You know, because people say, oh, he stole this from Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben wasn't talking about the War of the Lords. Dr. Ben wasn't talking about the planet Ritz. You know, Dr. Ben was talking about, oh, y'all came from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So he was giving you a physical manifestation of where you came from. Dr. Yerk was giving you a spiritual manifestation of where you came from.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, what does it matter? Like, that was, 10 billion years ago. Like, who cares? Like, one of my mentors, Benjamin, you know Benjamin.
Yeah.
Benjamin, if you talk to Benjamin about this, Benjamin will say, well, who cares? Like, does it have any bearing on your life now? And then for a long time, I couldn't say yeah, but now I can say yeah. It has a lot of bearing on my life.
Good.
You know?
Yeah.
When you know that.
I'm sorry. No, I'm saying I know him pretty good because we almost got into it, but for his age, I sort of went another direction, to try to show a little respect because once I start getting into it, it just, everything's like out the window. When you throw everything out the window, I throw everything out the window. And he goes to my mom's church. He be up in my mom's apostolic church, patting his feet and, having a good time. So, I just, every once in a while I just caught up to him. But what I was trying to remember was when the Mahabharata was talking about the nuclear wars and everything that they used to have, the Hindus used to talk about having way back. That's what I was trying to, think of.
Okay. Oh, so you're talking about the wars before the wars that we can document and know about.
Yeah.
Because, they had a lot of great wars before the wars that they tell us about. You know, just like there were several floods before the floods that they tell us about.
Right.
You know, but the wars were going back, you know, millions and millions and millions of years. What do you think the war of the Lords was? You know, it was a heavenly war. Imagine being on Earth looking up at the war that was going into heaven, or not even looking up. You know, wherever you had to look at the wars that were going on in heaven and the stuff that you would have seen.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
that shit would have been a light show. You know,
yeah. Man.
So I mean, we get wrapped up in the here and now, and this is why a lot of people can't see a good ending. You know, so a lot of people are just stuck. Which Jesus said, you know, he gave sight to the blind. A lot of niggas is blind. You know, they still trying to live with this white woman. They still trying to eat his food. They still trying to do that. They still trying to do that. They just want to fit in. They're so scared not to believe in Jesus, you know, they'll throw the old mom under the bus for Jesus.
Man, yeah, they will. I was just telling my brother the other day, we was talking about believing in things outside of yourself. And I told him that we gotta stop this, man. Like, but we throw our own, like, we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that mom gave us our first breath. But you bypass mom for somebody you ain't never seen or can't even prove exists. And I ain't trying to, you know, make anybody mad or anything, but we all know you can't show me that he created us. But you know mom carried us for 9 months, almost died.
Yep.
You know, trying to get us here. Like, for real.
Yeah, your mom was the first God that you know. And she raised you, and she took you through the first school of humanity, which is the womb.
Yeah.
The womb is a school. You know?
Okay.
The womb is an actual school. You can learn in the womb. That's why if you have, like, you go to those doctors or whatever, they be like, don't listen to this type of music around your kids while you're pregnant, because the child will grow up and this, X, Y, and Z. So you got mothers that'll put headphones over their stomach so that the child can listen. So you gotta imagine you're conscious in the womb.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? What are you thinking about? You know, all this, you know, this conscious mind state that you have in the womb. And the older you get, the more in focus with this, like I said on my previous shows, the more in focus with this reality you become. Because if they really told you what it was, they would tell you that you were reincarnated. All right? That's why kids, you'll have a kid genius. You'll be like, how the fuck this motherfucker know how to play the Beethoven symphony?
Yep, exactly.
Or how does he know how to do this or do that? You know, because this ain't his first go-round in this world.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
He making another stop. He done been here 20, 30 times before. You know? He done did this 20, 30 times before. You trying to undermine him. Like it's like, or him or her. Like they don't know anything. They know more than you. You know? So once we get outside the realm of the physical body and stop letting this hinder us, you know, we can become the nation that God has wanted us to be. That's why he said, Jacob I love, but Esau I hate. You know? And he said, Jacob I love, but Esau I hate. You know who Jacob is in the Bible? That's you, the black man, black woman. Whether you be Hispanic, Native American, African, you know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The people with dark melanin, you know what they look like. They get pulled over by the cops. They look at them the same. If the cops pull you over and they treat you like shit, then you African, American, African, whatever. You from that melanated branch. But Esau is the span, and that's where we get the Edomites, the Arabs that are over in the so-called Middle East now. I was looking on a map not too long ago. I didn't believe this shit. They said Egypt is part of the Middle East. Egypt isn't in Africa. They said Egypt is a Middle Eastern country.
Which map?
On every map. Google Maps, the Peterson projection, all the maps, they're going to have Egypt as being a Middle Eastern country. But that goes back into the Mandela effect. Are you familiar with the Mandela effect?
Yeah, I heard of it. I haven't dove real deep, but I have heard of it.
Okay. Yeah. So the Mandela effect just states that things that have happened have been altered slightly from our memory. So we may remember something one way, and then we get a whole different remembrance of it because the things have been changed.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff in history that's been changed. And they do it for a reason. People say, well, what's the reason of them going back and changing Star Wars? Instead of him saying, Luke, I am your father, he says, no, I am your father.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that he went back and he changed certain things. It's the fact that they can do this shit in the first place.
Man,
I'm not scared that they went back and changed this one rap lyric. I'm scared at the fact that they went back in the first place. A guy to listen to understand a lot of stuff that's happening with that is Donald Marshall. Okay, you could go on YouTube and look him up.
Okay.
The boy, he's a European. He broke a lot of that shit down. He was saying how deja vu. You only realize deja vu because the day has already happened before. It's like Groundhog's Day.
Mm-hmm.
The day's already happened before, but you realize it, and that's where you get your deja vu premonition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's them going out there and going back in time and messing with something. He said the only reason that they don't do it the third time was because they don't know what's going to happen. If they were to. Hold on one sec, all right?
Okay. Voice of David Clifton, ladies and gentlemen. Got a pretty good audio here.
Go. This cat crazy.
The cat acting up.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. So I wonder about the
Hold on one sec.
Okay. Hey man, we got some brothers out here in Philadelphia that can talk that talk too. So we trying to get the ball rolling here in Philly. Try to enlighten the people. Whole lot more be coming. We're gonna be doing a lot of things, especially when the weather break. Going up, hooking up with Sinetta and them. Try to do some lectures, get some things going, man, because our people need to be waking up some kind of way. Like Philadelphia don't have anything. So the brother gonna be back in a minute. I think the cat acting up. You gotta take care of the cat.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad, man.
No problem.
Yeah, but I'm listening.
Yeah, I want to ask you something. What do you think about the eternal loop? Like everything that has happened, that's happening now, and that will happen, already happened, and it's just going to keep happening over and over again, like eternity. A lot of people, believe this.
Okay. Well, that's funny that you mentioned that because there's been a lot of talk about the simulation world or the simulation theory. And a lot of the lead scientists and physicists in the world have been saying that the world is just one big simulation. That's why things happen. Like you can have a plane crash, but 300 people die and one person survives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the odds, that things happen the way that they do?
Yeah.
And when you get down to the root of how things operate, it will make you start to believe or think outside that realm of, all right, nothing's impossible. Did you see, I don't know if you watch NFL, but they had
Yeah. I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm not really a football fan. I just root for the Cowboys, hope they win.
Got you. Yeah, they had the guy, Zay Jones. Go on YouTube and watch this guy.
Say that again?
Zay Jones, Z-A-Y Jones, Jones.
Zay Jones.
And he plays for the Buffalo Bills, right? It's all over the internet. He had a catch where, it was an attempted catch, but basically the quarterback threw the ball. He went and dove for it, went out of bounds, didn't catch the ball. He slid, but when he got back up, something was strange. The way that he got back up was like his body just went in reverse, and he got up. And everybody was saying, "Oh, well, that's a natural motion," and people were like, "That's not no natural motion. When you hit the ground and you slide, your natural instinct is to weight down, push your arms, to get yourself up, and then you get up." He got up he just used his arms barely and got up with the rest of his body. It looked unnatural.
I'm pulling that up.
100% unnatural.
Oh.
It looks like it. You see it?
Dang, that is crazy. Let me see if I can pull it over here and let the people check this out. I got it on YouTube. Watch how that. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Look how he floats up like that is weird.
That's a glitch in the matrix. You have things that happen 99.9% of the time. If you shoot yourself in the head, you're going to die.
Yeah.
But that 0.1% of the time is the glitch in the matrix. And
right.
That glitch in the matrix leaves open the realm of possibility to the impossible. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's this term that's coined, and it's called sopilism. Okay? Sopilism.
Okay.
And basically, this states, or it says that you're the only person that know that you exist. Now think about it. People be like, man, that's crazy. My mom knows I exist. My dad knows I exist. This, and the third. But think about it, though. Just think about it for a second.
Man.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you got do you have a store at your corner?
Yep.
Okay.
Just like every black neighborhood.
Yeah. Everybody has a corner store. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you have this store at the corner of your block, right?
Yeah.
Who's standing outside that store right now?
Zay Jones. That's the name of the video. Look that up on YouTube. Somebody's asking what's the name, and his name is Zay Jones. Okay. Sorry about that.
Zay Jones. Yeah. Who's standing outside this store right now?
Black people.
You know 100% sure?
Oh, well. Oh, no. Well, I'm just assuming because I see them out. They just be out there all the time, selling. So
okay.
I'm not actually looking out the door.
Okay. Can you tell me 100% sure that the store is even there right now?
I mean, when I walk out the store, I know what you're saying, but when I walk out the door and walk down there, but I can't tell you 100% sure right now because who knows what happens. It could have collapsed while I'm sitting here.
Okay. All right. That goes the same instance for everything. What you see is like a computer game. Okay? Remember when you used to play the little games like Tomb Raider on a PlayStation or whatever?
Yeah.
And you would be running somewhere and then the images will load up as you were running. Like the computer couldn't process everything that was happening at that one time. So it's called pre-rendering. So pre-rendering is basically when they have like they'll have like pre-rendered backgrounds already there, but the computer, to save memory, doesn't generate them until you're there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the computer can only take so much memory. They can only have so much memory on one disk. So once you go to that specific point in the game, the points that you pass behind you are no longer there. Okay?
Yeah.
So basically, that's the term of sopilism. Okay? So nobody knows you exist except for you. You can only say that you exist.
I remember.
You're the only person that can say you're a real person. Nobody else can say you're a real person because nobody else exists to you except for you, because you're the only person that has a consciousness in your reality.
I remember when I was 8, 9 years old, and I was laying in this one particular time. I was laying in bed, and I started thinking to myself, because I had my room door shut, and I'm thinking, is anybody like really outside? I'm actually thinking about this. Is everything out there actually, really exists? It only exists when I walk outside the door, then it appears, but then I'm thinking, like, what about my friend that's maybe sitting in his house right now? Do I exist to him? I'm actually thinking about these things when I was little. I think that's probably some of the, leading up to when I started waking up about things. I always thought about strange stuff like that. Well, what people call strange, and people always thought I was odd. So, I just ran with it.
Yeah. Well, that's the understanding. It's like, you don't know if anybody exists. And it's scary once you think about it, because it's like, well, people be like, well, my mom calls me, but it's just like you ever been in a situation where it's like, you be thinking about somebody, thinking, and then they call you out of the blue. You ain't talked to this motherfucking 6 months. And you be like, I was just thinking about you. Or thinking about somebody, and then you walk into them in the street like, damn, I was just thinking about you. Or you talking about somebody, and they come up like, damn, we spoke you up. Think about it.
Yeah.
Just give it a logical, give it a good thought pattern. And when you start to think about it, you start to break down the constructs of the matrix that you live in the first place. Because they said the world is a matrix. The only reason that you know you're in a matrix is when you have glitches.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a glitch, you wouldn't know the matrix even existed.
Zay Jones, what is the odds that I could get him on here?
Oh, Zay Jones?
Like, where is he now?
He plays for the Buffalo Bills.
Right now.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm not real in tune with football. I just know a few names. I know the Cowboys, but Zay Jones, that'd be probably kind of hard to get him on here. But who knows? Worth a try.
Yeah, it's a glitch in the matrix, man. So you gotta realize, if you know that you're in the matrix, you gotta think, what's outside this matrix? Because, one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life, I woke up one day, I looked in the mirror, and I seen myself. And people be like, well, you look at yourself every day in the mirror. That's true. You look at yourself every day. Well, the person that, looks in the mirror looks at itself every day in the mirror.
Yeah.
But until you really look and you see the inner you can see yourself. And that shit is scary because you realize that you're trapped.
Right, okay.
You realize that you're trapped in something. If you pull it up, it's like a near-death account, right? This lady, she had a near-death experience. She had an operation done on her. She had an operation done. I forget what part of her body, but they had to do a cranial something. But this is the most dangerous surgery that you can do. What they do is They bring the patient into the room. They cut open, make an incision inside the cranial, which is the head. They make an incision inside their head.
Okay.
And they take off half the skull. Okay? So the brain's exposed, right? Now, the whole time they're doing this, they're pumping all the blood out your body. Right? You have no blood in your body. You are clinically dead for the whole surgery. Look it up. Right? This surgery, like, they put you to sleep and they basically kill you just to do surgery and then pump all the body in your pump all the blood back in your body and try to resuscitate you. Some people don't come back. Some people do. The people that come back have a story to tell. Okay?
Yeah.
The one lady, she's not, Christian. She's not Muslim. She's not atheist. She said, look, man, I don't know what to believe. She said, after this whole situation with this surgery, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's up, what's down. So basically, they will her in to do the surgery. So they put her to sleep. She has, they put little devices in your ear that they emit popping sounds so that you can't hear anything. And they cover your eyes with like this little caps so you can't see anything. Right?
Okay.
They sedate you heavily. And then they monitor your brainwave functions. And once your brainwave functions flatline, that's when they put you're on the ventilator, and they're mechanically keeping you alive for the surgery. It's like mechanical, type of keeping you alive, ventilators and all that. So she's on a ventilator, no brainwave activity whatsoever. So they do this surgery. I think they were removing an aneurysm out of her brain or something, but it was so close to an artery that they said they might rupture the artery and she's going to bleed out. So they had to drain all the blood out of her body. So anyway, so she wakes up for the surgery. She tells the nurse what she was saying. She tells the doctor what the instruments look like. She tells the doctor what he was wearing. She tells the nurse that her boyfriend troubles aren't that bad because the nurse was talking about her boyfriend during his surgery. So she tells these people all this stuff. They like, what the fuck? They said, how did you know that? She's like, oh, I was outside my body the whole time y'all was doing the surgery. She's like, I was walking around. She's like, I seen you you had on the green scrubs.
Yeah.
And I seen your socks. I seen your socks too. They were colorful. Like, she was telling them all types of shit. Like, shit that there's no way you could have known.
Right.
So once you hear stories like that, whether they be true or not, but me, I know some shit like that could be true. Because I know that the human body isn't, the spirit isn't just in this body, and that's it. Right. So, like I said, once you realize that this body that you're in is just a prison. Yeah. And you can manipulate the matrix. That's why you got people that are fucking multi-billionaires. Motherfuckers, the craziest, athletes in the world. Not to say they all manipulate the matrix, but I'm saying, though, they probably reached a level of consciousness where they can defy certain things. Like prime example, you have a mother that gets in a car accident and her kids are trapped in the car, and this mother's 5'3" 120 pounds. She lifts up the whole car, opens up the door, gets the kids out. Yeah, I remember. We've heard the stories before. What gives her the authority to do that? What energy is she channeling to do that? Is she becoming one with her higher consciousness, that voice inside you that says, look, don't go that way, go this way. And then you go that way and you don't listen to the voice and you get in trouble. Right. I mean, it's just something to think about. So when you come into law and nationality, you got to go to spirituality, because once you realize that this world is only temporary and that you're a prisoner in this world, you got to figure out who the fuck put you here in the first place. Yeah. You got to figure out what rules are they playing by. Exactly. Because they ain't playing fair, because they didn't disclose the whole lineup to you.
It's getting more and more clear. It's getting,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
I've told very few people this, and so I figured, hey, I'm gonna just say it, because a lot of people around me that don't understand things, if I tell somebody something like this, a lot of people say I'm crazy. or they just wonder. But I told my mom that I remember, all right, I remember a place where it was, you know how the art museum look, how the pillars next to the, in the interior of the art museum when you go up the steps, and it looked like that, and then it looked like it was greenery, and I remember a bush, and right after I seen this, it got like dark. It looked like maybe stars, but I'm not sure. And then right after that, I was born, looking up into this white doctor face, and I described the whole thing to my mom, how everything looked. He was a brunette, and how the light above me was round. And I remember this as like, just like I'm sitting here looking at this this video right here. I remember seeing something before I was born, and I know that I was here before. So it's like, don't take much to convince me. And I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah. I mean, we all have had experiences. We wouldn't be human, which is a physical and a spiritual construct, if we didn't. I mean, the list can go on, man, to let you know that A, this isn't your final place, and B, you're trapped.
Yeah.
That's why people have panic attacks. What do you think a panic attack is? An anxiety attack. I used to suffer from panic attacks when I first started gaining knowledge. And I realized that a lot of people that started gaining knowledge and a lot of people that are spiritual suffer from panic attacks, because we realized that, starting out, we suffer from panic attacks. I don't suffer from anymore because I realized this shit is temporary. I don't let this shit bother me one bit at all.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I can go today or tomorrow. Motherfuckers ain't gonna say my name 10 years from now.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
So it's like, huh?
I don't know, man. This information you putting out, probably be talking about you for a long time. I mean, and a lot of it is like, I know a lot of information that I hear, it seemed like I already know it. I just didn't know I knew it until somebody brought it to the forefront. Just like Dr. York.
That's the spirits. That's the spirits linking up.
Yeah.
That's the spirits. Once the spirits start to mix and intermingle, then that's when you start to realize, and you start to come to the light with different people. That's why they say, like, oh, having sex with a lot of people is bad. Well, why is it bad? Because it's sex before marriage. Okay, why is sex before marriage bad? Oh, because God says you're not supposed to do it. God never said you're not supposed to do it. Paul said you're not supposed to do it. All right. Well, yeah, it's just bad. Don't do it. But they don't tell you the spiritual aspect of it. When you have sex, when you release that sperm is an energy, right? So that's why when you are ejaculating or whatever, and masturbating or whatever it is that you do, and that sperm is released, you have that 1-2 split seconds where you feel like you're a god again, because it takes you out of this realm. Okay? That's what the whole thing about sex is, right? So what happens is, when you have that sperm, which is an energy, okay, those little, sperm flying around and stuff like that, that's a release of energy. That's why if you don't have sex or whatever, they'll tell you, like, boxers, before you fight, you can't have sex because you release so much energy having sex. Just ejaculating. But yeah, so for that split second, those 2 to 3 seconds, you're back to the godly state. So what happens is, when you release that energy into the woman's energy, your spirits become intermixed. All right? That's why if you see people that have sex with a lot of people, they have a lot of baggage. She got 6 baby fathers, 12 kids, and she always getting evicted. She ain't never got this. She's just always depressed. Because she's drained all her energy. That's why people that have mental disabilities, like schizophrenia, dissociative disorder, which is split personality disorder, which you got off the movie Split. People that have like crazy types of disorders, they're hypersexual people. So these are your child pedophiles and stuff like that. I know because I worked in worked in the field for a year, dealing with sex offenders.
Yeah.
So those type of people are always sexual. Number one, because what happens is that release of that energy puts them into a different mind state. So they're always craving that release. That's why you get these rapists and stuff like that. Because that release brings them back to a feeling of good. It's a euphoric feeling. It only lasts for a little bit.
Yeah.
So mix those spirits in with having sex. All that baggage is tacked on to you. And now you got you're a manic depressant. Or you got a bipolar disorder or this disorder. You're like, damn, I ain't never had this disorder before until I started fucking with so-and-so. I started messing with people that started giving me mental diseases and disorders. If you want to see why you got a mental disease or mental disorder, stop talking to the people that you talk to. I guarantee that shit'll clear up because that's all it is. You're putting your energy in too many different places and it shouldn't be in because everybody ain't for you.
Yeah.
It's like the kids say nowadays, like, every bag ain't your bag, So you're gonna try to get this and get that. Every job ain't your job.
Yeah. Man.
So.
Yeah, man. I get it. It's so much that's being opened up. Since I've been in the Wapi Nation, so much that's still being opened up. I mean, it's just a lot, man. And get it out there to the people.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. I first got woken up when I was in the military, and my friend James, he's still in Philly, and he used to call me up. He'd be like, "Yo, man, da da da." I was at this time, I'm 20, 21, 22. This is like 8 years ago. So I'm still Jesus, not my Jesus. Paul the Apostle was Jesus to me, and when I stopped to realize it, I realized how fucked up it was, how fucked up the churches were. But anyway, that's another story for a different subject.
Yeah.
But he's my friend James is calling me. Yo, man, you gotta get on this Moorish national movement. Yo, man, you gotta get your tax exemption straight. Yo, man, you gotta do. I'm like, what the fuck is you talking about? I'm trying to live a civilized life as a citizen of the United States of America. I'm serving in this great Navy, with all these billions of dollars of equipment. I'm directing around $30 million aircraft that are trusting me to, tell what to do and where to go.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. But that spark was ignited. So when I get home, I see this man that used to be, out here doing ruthless shit. I come home, he got a nice suit on. He's groomed properly. And now his whole mind state is, yo, let's get on this money. I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened? Yo, this transformation took 4 years. He's like, no, I've been heavy in my studies, man. Here, read this. Look at this. Read this. And he forced that shit on me like, yo, did you read it? Did you read it? Did you read it? After he planted that seed, he said, yo, I love you, man. When I planted that seed, you came back and taught me shit.
Yeah.
So now he calling me like, yo, da-da-da, you heard about da-da-da-da? I'm like, look, nah, this is how it happened. He like, yo, man, that's why I fucked with you, because when I planted that seed, I just stepped back. You was hungry for that information, and that's that spirit, man.
Yeah.
That's why people can't go to church and be 100% genuine, because the spirit is fucked up in church.
Yeah, I couldn't, man.
That whole feeling, you gotta close your eyes and shed the terror coming. You gotta squeeze hard for that motherfucking terror to come down your face.
You gotta fall back on the floor, and while you falling back on the floor, you peeping to see if everybody approve and they be like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
yeah, yeah. That shit is fake, man.
But some people really,
That shit is so.
some people really believe. I said, mom, like my mom she used to like Chris Brown songs. I don't know if she still like them, but and back there with Elvis and all them, I said, you know how you like Chris Brown songs and how the young girl used to fall out when Elvis came out, that the adrenaline. And I was like, oh mom, that's like the same thing. It's like the preachers up there screaming and hollering, and the music is playing, and everybody's swaying to the music, oh God, and all that. And I said, it's the same thing, Mom. Oh no, it's not the same thing. It's not the same. I love you, Mom.
It's the same thing. Music puts you in a trance.
Yeah, that's a whole other show. Music, boy.
You have different tones. You have binary tones. You have different drums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it puts you in a trance. That's why every church you go to has drums, a piano. Some of them had guitars because they'll get the praise breath. Everybody be jumping around shouting the Holy Ghost. You know, it's the same beat. Same beat. Every church you go to, they all learn the same shit.
Yeah.
Everybody be jumping around, praising God, and they'd be like, that's that trance. That shit puts you in a trance.
But I
Puts
got
you in a whole trance.
yeah, dude. I gotta admit though, if anybody watching that's from my mom's church, I gotta tell you that church is probably one of the few churches I've seen that actually don't have drums and piano. I think they got a keyboard. I'm not sure, but what they do, they play the music of the singers that already got all the instruments, and that you can't tell them that they ain't looking up seeing Jesus. I mean, it is like, yeah, man.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different story, as far as looking up and seeing the Messiah.
But they good, but they good people. The pastor of my mom's church, I want to put it out there for any of them to see this video. And I done told them, I told my mom, the pastor of this church is excellent. She's a real woman. Like you know how a lot of them, like a lot of pastors you see, they get the offering plate. Next thing you know, they riding around in pretty cars and everything where everybody else broke. She take the money, she put it up, and whoever needs help, she get it to them. She's and they starting to think. They starting to think on a lot of things that that's going on around them, and I think they're gonna break out of it soon.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But do you know that church, right, that you're talking about, right, is not subscribed to the Word of God? Because according to the Word of God, a woman can't be a pastor.
Yeah. That and they gonna think on that, man. They gonna break out of that spell. They gonna break out of it. Yeah. Man. Yep.
I gotta wrap it up here, bro.
Yeah, man. Cause I don't got man. I'm sitting here for all those. I got my Key Life production shirt on I had made. I'm trying to get this thing moving, man. But Joseph, Clifton, it's been an honor to have you once again. Enjoy listening to you. And I tell the people out there, man, we got people here in Philly that can talk that talk, man. New York don't got everybody. Yeah, and
we can back it up with factual, real scholarship, man. Just
right.
Somebody talking for 20, 30 minutes, an hour, I can come with scholarship. I've came with scholarship on other videos and stuff like that. Just tonight I wanted to do a little more freestyle because it ain't all about what you write down, it's about what you feel.
Right. And and I want to say something else too. A lot of people out there, and even Sonetta said this. That's why I love Sonetta. He said that there's a lot of people out there that got information from Dr. York, my master teacher, but he didn't say it in these words. But he actually said a lot of people out there is saying the same thing Dr. York said, but that they not really trying to admit it. I'm saying they not trying to admit it. There's a lot of them out there, and they talk trash about him, but they saying what he said. They taking his teachings and acting like they came up with it. Man, it's crazy.
Like it's they spent.
Yeah.
You know?
Man.
Like, yeah, I don't understand that shit, man. I just don't understand it. But the thing about what people don't realize about Dr. York, you can bash Dr. York all you want.
Right.
That motherfucker made a community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This nigga had these niggas living down in fucking Eaton, Georgia. With a whole building pyramids and all types of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I wouldn't go down
then they go follow this bull who ain't got a crib to his name.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Talking about, oh yeah, let me go listen to, let me go do this, let me go to the church. Dr. York, man, he was like, man, fuck that, let's build our own shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what transpired, what they say he did, because we all know that shit was fake as shit anyway. You know what I mean? And the people that said he did the shit even came back out and said he didn't do it and recanted statements, and the FBI wasn't trying to hear it, you know, because that's what they do when they get any strong black brother. They try to discredit him. And it's always like a sexual allegation discredit. It ain't never like the nigga used to do cocaine and shit. He can't be a leader. It's always like a sexual allegation. But this is like Bobby Hemmett said, how Dr. York really, what happened was downfall was when he went on the news and he started talking that, and the white boys was like, oh, all right. And then he was like, oh, them niggas crazy. You know what I mean? And then they started going down there trying to invade different, you know, but that's a whole different story, man. Because I study a lot of Dr. York. To this day. To this day. Like, you can't tell me nothing about Dr. York.
So somebody wrote in the chat, well, they got why do you live side nutter, but I know it's why do you love side nutter. I got you. But the reason why I'm cool with side nutter is because, first of all, the first time I met Side, when I was trying to get some pointers and everything, he let me come right on up there and just join right into the thing. Then he don't talk trash. Sinetta real, man. I don't know if y'all say that he might have screwed y'all over or he a scam artist. I don't see none of that. I know him personally. I don't know him like 100% personally, but I know him enough to know he ain't do nothing to me. He helped me to he inspired me to get what I'm going now. Plus, he mentioned he also gave Dr. York his props. He said, well, let's say Dr. York did do all that stuff. Are you going to throw all the other New Wapians under the bus? That's how a lot of people think. That a lot of people see a New Wapian, oh, they gonna want a Dr. York followers. They think we all like that. No, we not all like that. And plus that, I don't believe Dr. York did anything anyway. Because all that pussy he had around him, come on, man. All that pussy around him, and he gonna go after a little boy, like, come on. The white man, the cracker, the evil one, is perfect at making people look bad. Y'all don't seem to realize this. But anyway, I don't want to go on and on, because I know you got to go. But that's a whole nother thing right there. But I enjoyed you, man. I really enjoyed you.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah. And
so peace and blessings, man. Much love.
Much love to you, man. You and yours.
All right, man.
All right. Peace out till next time.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, man. So all this Dr. York did it. Come on, man. So I had somebody write on my Facebook. It's 2000. It's almost 2018, and people still talking about Dr. York did it. Come on, man. Like, for real. Chuck Morgan, he built his whole platform on hating on Dr. York. And plus that, I'm going to have Chuck Morgan on this show. So y'all batten down the hatches, because it's going to be crazy up in here. But anyway, this is Brother Sakim. We're going to be back on this Friday with Brother Kashif. He's coming to drop some knowledge. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to talk about. And I'm trying to get my boy Red Pill. Red Pill's a man after my own heart. Red Pill is the man. And I want to get him on talking about that music. And then I want to get Dr. Ali Muhammad on talking about that health. So, with that being said, I will bid you a hotep, a shalom, assalamu alaikum, God bless you, Islam, and last but definitely not least, not Rahul Bek, but Wadu. Peace to all the guys and goddesses. Till next time.